Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the big boys of boxing, the heavyweight division. Let's first welcome to the ring, Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
You know, it's kind of fitting that Jarrell Miller starts his way back up against Andy Ruiz. In 2019, it was Andy Ruiz that took Jarrell Miller's spot after Miller failed multiple drug tests going into his fight against Anthony Joshua and had the biggest win of his career. Jarrell told me this week that he did watch that fight. He watched it at a wedding, and he watched it on his phone, and he watched it sitting on the toilet. So he watched that win by Andy Ruiz in one of the strangest possible places, but he is extremely motivated, guys, by that night. Andy Ruiz took what Jarrell Miller wanted. Andy Ruiz got the fight against Anthony Joshua and became the unified heavyweight champion. Even at 36 years old, Jarrell Miller still believes he can get back to the top.
And Miller says if he loses this fight tonight, you can flush his career down the toilet, Sergio. He says it's all to fight for tonight. He's got to beat Andy Ruiz.
This is do or die for both these guys. I mean, Andy Ruiz has been inactive 2 years. You know, was he a one-hit wonder? Can he get back to the heavyweight championship? He's had a lot of personal problems in his life, in his career, personal demons that he had to, you know, overcome. Now, Big Baby Miller, a little bit of a same, coming off a knockout loss. You know, the PED allegations in the past, he has a lot to overcome as well. This is a perfect matchup for both.
Yeah, look, let's be real, Sergio. They're not allegations. He tested positive for multiple banned substances. And I said to Jarrell Miller during our fighter meetings that there are a lot of people out there, understandably, that believe that your success is a byproduct of performance enhancement. He said he is motivated by that. He has some reasons that he says has his excuses for why he tested positive those multiple times, but the reality is he did test positive for multiple different fights. Now he has to prove that he can still be a top-level heavyweight without those substances.
I'll tell you what, if he starts boxing and moving, and this is what I loved about Big Baby Miller back in 2018 and 2019 when we were calling his fights. He's a big man from the waist up, but from the waist down, he moves like a middleweight. He has the footwork. He knows how to maneuver, and then with that big mass and power, if he can come and start boxing like he did back in the day, he can give Andy Ruiz all the problems in the world.
Hey, remember, against Andy Dubois, Jarrell Miller had a lot of success in the first half of that fight. He just ran out of gas because his training camp was really short and his weight was really high. I still think there's a guy that can win a big-time heavyweight fight standing in the ring.
And now let's welcome to the ring the former world champion, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr.
This week, especially in his interview with Chris Mannix, and he said, Chris, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about being back in the ring. I'm as nervous as I've ever been. What did that tell you?
It told me a lot. It told me Andy Ruiz is feeling some anxiety about this opportunity, but he did say when he feels that anxiety, he's at his best. He felt anxious going into that fight against Anthony Joshua, and he had the best performance of his professional career. The question is that fighter at 34 years old still within him? Can he overcome the kind of layoff he's coming off, the stops and starts, Sergio, that have plagued his career? That, to me, is the biggest question surrounding Andy Ruiz tonight.
You know, you can channel that nervous energy to do what you practice to do. I mean, you've been here before. Andy Ruiz has been the heavyweight champion of the world by upsetting one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. He knows what it takes to become a champion, to upset the odds. This isn't that big of an upset here, but it's a big challenge in Big Baby Miller. Man, that's really hungry. This is a 50-50 fight. You've been saying all night long, every fight has been good, every fight has been competitive. This is just one more in the books.
Andy Ruiz said he had 160 rounds of sparring in this camp. I may not have fought in almost 2 years, but I'm fight ready. Sergio, can you replicate a real fight in the gym?
Every fighter loves to say that, but no, Todd. You cannot replicate the crowds, the lights, and you can't replicate those small gloves, and you cannot do that inside the ring. You can stay sharp, but you can't stay professional sharp like inside the ring. Once those punches start flying, it's different than sparring.
This is his second straight appearance in LA. He beat Luis Ortiz at the Crypto.com arena in his last fight. That was in 2022. The former unified heavyweight champion back in the ring. Here's Thomas Tribal.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds in the heavyweight division. Brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, and promoted by Eddie Hearns, Matchroom Boxing, Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Sella, and Gold Star Promotions. It is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chair Peter Villegas, Executive Officer Andy Foster. Our 3 judges assigned will be Robert Hoyle, Lou Moret, and David Sutherland. Our referee in charge will be Thomas Taylor. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing blue with white and weighed in officially at 305.6 pounds. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, he is proudly representing the country of Belize. His professional record consists of 26 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw, with 22 of his 26 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jarrell Big Baby Miller! And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black with white and weighed in officially at 274.4 pounds. Hailing from Imperial, California, he has a professional record of 35 wins, 2 defeats, with 22 of his 35 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO Unified Heavyweight Champion of the World, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr.
Your chief second. Okay, gentlemen. Coach, again, I'm going to come over on this side, Coach. Come on this side. I'm going to stress. We got a high belt line over here. Anything in the white, even half a glove in the white is going to be good. Andy, your trunks are good. So we've got middle of the letters here and up, gentlemen. You got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corner, gentlemen.
Both of these men have spent the last 5 years dealing with issues both inside and out of the ring. Andy Ruiz reached the mountaintop and he gave it all away. Jarrell Miller blew it before he could even get there. Both want another crack at that heavyweight championship. To get there, they have to get through each other.
You don't know what you got till it's gone. That's been the message from Andy Ruiz. He had the championship, let it slip away. He vows that this will be his first step towards reclaiming the crown. 12 rounds, Jarrell Miller and Andy Ruiz.
See, Miller has 2 inches in height, and he has the reach, 4 inches in reach, so you can bet that he's going to want to use that, not let Andy Ruiz come in and do that right off the bat. You want to keep him at bay, keep popping that jab, keep foot feinting, use your athleticism if you're Miller.
Miller has that right hand cocked, sort of like McCauley did in the last fight.
Yeah, but Jarrell Miller's got to be careful because I think Andy Ruiz is one of the best counter punchers at heavyweight. He gets into exchanges, and most of the time he wins those exchanges.
He has extremely fast hands for a big man, and he can catch and counter really well, especially with that left hand. So if Miller throws a right hand that's going to ricochet off the left hand of Ruiz, you can bet that he's going to want to catch it and shoot that same left hook with the same left hand. That's the reason Miller's thinking twice about throwing that right hand right now.
Miller being very patient. He keeps that left hand low down by his waist.
As soon as Miller throws that right hand, you can bet Ruiz is going to counter with a big left hook. Catch and counter.
Just by instinct.
Yep. I like to call it like a rat trap, left hook. Anytime you touch it, it's going to snap.
Andy not wanting to be first, neither is Jarrell, and that means a slow first round.
Yeah, but this is how Andy Ruiz came out against Luis Ortiz. A different situation. Luis Ortiz is a strong southpaw, and actually the first southpaw that Andy Ruiz had faced as a professional, so he was a little leery in that respect, but he is waiting for those opportunities to counter.
Overhand right from Ruiz.
Hold the hand off the head. Right, stop, no punch, straight back.
It's too early for Ruiz to start throwing that right hand. He still needs to invest with that jab to the belly, just like that. See, keep touching that belly, and then you can drop the guard of Miller. Then you can try that overhand right again. You gotta fool your opponent into it. There you go, see that? Big exchange by both men. Both of them barely missed big hooks. Miller's looking for a big shot himself.
And they both sat down on those right hands.
They're both sitting down these punches. They want to hurt each other. I'm curious. We all know Andy Ruiz takes a huge shot. I want to see how Miller's going to respond once he gets hit.
There's those lightning quick hands from Ruiz, and he caught him again.
Listen for the bell, gentlemen. Time right there.
Voy a dar poquita agua. Sigue trabajando ese jab al cuerpo, mijo, ¿ok? Y bien vivo, siempre arriba. Estás caminando perfecto,
keep touching that body. You're walking him down all right.
Salte rápido y chiquito.
Doing good. He's looking for that right hand. Be careful.
Ahí le dolieron ahorita con los golpes, Andy, ¿ok?
And this is an exchange right here. Big Baby Miller forgot to put his hands up in the clinch, in the guard. Protect yourself at all times. Ruiz took advantage of that.
Well, you got just a glimpse of the hand speed of Andy Ruiz. He still got it at the age of 34.
You know, Sergio, I don't know if it's intentional or if it just plays out this way, but Andy Ruiz is very good at landing those equilibrium shots. The ones on the side of the head, clipped Anthony Joshua with one in their fight, dropped Luis Ortiz with a similar type of shot. He just seems to find a home in the right spot in the head.
No, you're right. I just think he has good accuracy with that shot. I don't think it's intentional. I just think he's one of these punchers that he's very accurate. When he throws a shot, it just happens to land in the right spot.
Ruiz said, I've got to let my hands go. I can't be tentative. But Miller's saying the same thing.
See, Ruiz doesn't throw that many punches until the combinations start flowing.
All right, stop.
But I love the fact that he's jabbing to the belly of Miller. That right there is going to serve dividends. It's going to pay dividends.
Well, one of Jarrell Miller's best attributes during his best years was that work rate. He was a guy that would throw 60-plus punches per round. That's what made him the most successful. He's not the one-punch power knockout guy like Martin McCollum. He's got to win against Andy Ruiz with volume punching.
Well, he said to us yesterday, he said Andy Ruiz cannot fight going backwards. He loves to eat jabs and can't handle body shots very well.
Well, right now, Ruiz is doing just fine on the back foot.
All right, stop. No punch.
Stabbing Miller to the chest and to the belly. Trying to set shots like that up top.
I was expecting more from Miller, at least from a work rate.
I think the hand speed of Andy Ruiz has a lot to do with the inactivity of Jarrell Miller.
You know, this heavyweight division, especially, Chris, since we're getting the premier matchups of top 10 guys all the time now, a heavyweight's one big win away from being thrown right back in the mix. Oh, a right hand lands from Miller. Best punch of the fight.
There's a big uppercut by Miller and then over the top. But that's the thing about Andy Ruiz. He knows how to take a big shot.
Miller's just trying to line him up.
Yeah, he's telegraphing that right hand. He should start just letting it go without power. He's looking for the perfect right hand, Miller is. It's too soon for that right now. Just be touching and pecking. You're losing rounds. Momentum for Ruiz right now. Miller's just getting outworked right now by the faster hands of Ruiz. Nothing landing cleanly, but he's winning rounds convincingly.
He's a big Mexican. Ivory, watch me work, buddy.
It was a good round, but we probably gave that shit at the end. You understand? You gotta stop picking up. Forget about the head, bro. Touch the body thing. Stop coming up the middle. Forget about the head. The head is gonna come. But rip this shit and stop coming up the middle. We'll stop him.
He gonna get tired.
What?
He getting tired. Do this. Move your head. Don't just do it like this.
Just tighten up the defense a little more, okay?
Hit there, man. Both sides. Once you get that shit.
Get that ice out. Let's go, yeah.
You gotta have it set. Eyes big up.
And we see Andy Ruiz against the ropes. We don't want to see him against the ropes. And look, this was a good segue of punches right there by Big Baby Miller. Nice uppercut towards the end right there. Over the shot, over the top right there. Ruiz can't be getting hit with big shots like that. And you could tell he was about to engage in exchange with Miller right now. Miller doesn't want to do that either.
What do you think of the advice from Miller's corner to stop targeting the head and both the bodies?
I love that, and that's exactly what Ruiz has been doing well. He's been jabbing and pecking the body. I think Miller better start doing the exact same thing. Miller, they both have fast hands, but the speed is on Ruiz's side.
Let's take a look at some CompuBox numbers as we enter round 3 here. And our second heavyweight fight of the night, Ruiz has landed 19 power punches compared to 10 for Big Baby.
Yeah, that's a pretty low output for Jarrell Miller.
Yeah, Miller's not letting his hands go. He's walking back, Andy Ruiz, but he's not punching, walking him back. So Ruiz is doing well off the back foot, just like that.
These are big power shots from Andy Ruiz.
For the most part, Miller's not giving it much back.
You know, I questioned Andy Ruiz on Friday about his weight. Came in at 274 pounds, which if you exclude his first 2 professional fights, would be the second highest weight of his professional career, second only to that second fight against Anthony Joshua. And he insisted that it was a planned decision. He knows Jarrell Miller is going to weigh in around 300 pounds. He wanted to be able to match some of that weight.
There's a body shot from Ruiz, then comes over the top of the right hand. And Miller finally answering back.
That was a good shot by Ruiz, but Miller came back. Miller needs to start getting respect here. And I like the fact that he's aiming for the body. Miller is. Both of them are digging down that upstairs. Big target for for both of them down in that belly area.
Ruiz getting his licks in wherever he can.
And that's what you got to do. You just got to touch whatever your opponent gives you, that's what you touch. Just like that. And I love the fact that Ruiz is not standing in front of Miller. He's punching and moving. Usually it's Miller that has the better footwork.
There's a digging right hand to the body for Miller. And even if you block a punch like that, Sergio, it still does us some damage.
Actually, that one actually was a little bit telegraphed and slappy, but yeah, you don't want to give too many of those.
Oh, good right hand on the inside for Ruiz. That's where he's been really excelling.
Actually, that second body shot for Miller right now, that one right there, those are more effective than the ones that come around. You lose all your power when you open up your arm like that.
That's the uppercut that Miller's corner had been calling for. They want him to go to the body and then come up the gut with an uppercut.
Listen for that bell, gentlemen. Let the arm go, let the arm go. Time, right there. Way to hold back.
Days after signing a contract extension with Matchroom, it was announced Eduardo Rocky Hernandez will face Thomas Matisse in the main event September 13th from Hermosillo, Mexico.
Nice jab there by Miller, but it was that shot right there, that right there gets the attention of any big man. I don't care how much size you got in that midsection. They're bound to get you, and there he goes. He returned the favor right back. This big baby Miller, and those are the shots that are gonna take it out of you. Big uppercut in between by Miller, just too far in between. Andy Ruiz had his moments. Miller needs to start picking it up, in my opinion.
Chris, which direction do you see this fight going here after 3 rounds?
I think it's going in the direction Andy Ruiz wants it to go in. I mean, his accuracy and output has been pretty clear to see at this point. Jarrell Miller just doesn't look like the guy we saw beating mid-level contenders at heavyweight during those first couple of years on the zone. So I'm with Sergio. If Jarrell Miller wants to get back in this fight, he's got to increase his punch output. When he's walking Andy Ruiz down, he's got to let his hands go.
This is what he said. Andy Ruiz can't fight going backwards, but he's going to eat my jab.
Jarrell, don't push off, don't push off.
And the early rounds is where Miller should be taking advantage of the inactivity of Ruiz. But shots like that, I mean, beautiful body shot there by Andy Ruiz. It comes right up back upstairs. Those will take a toll the later this fight goes.
And you're right, Sergio. These are the rounds that Andy Ruiz was most worried about. Coming off that 2-year layoff, he didn't know how he was going to react in these first few rounds. He was pretty confident he'd settled into the fight as it progressed, but so far so good for Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, and that's the reason I'm saying that Miller is actually playing in the game plan of Ruiz. Let him get into the fight and shake off that rust. See right here, Miller should be jabbing his way in. He's just walking. Good body shot, but he should be jabbing his way in.
Right cross on the inside from Jarrell Miller. There's the double jab.
Let go of the arm, let go of the arm.
He's being the aggressor, Sergio, but not the effective aggression.
He landed a good right hand, Miller, right there. He's doing well in the last 20 seconds. Miller, he's landing some good shots. I think he's trying to pick it up.
Jarrell, get him up.
Ruiz snuck in some of those quick hands there. But Jarrell Miller trying to impose his superior size on Ruiz.
I think he is imposing it right now in this last minute. He needs to keep doing it, but he needs to do it behind a jab. You know, pop that shotgun jab on Ruiz's face. Then you can start your combinations.
Nice flurry there from Ruiz.
You know, every time a fighter shakes their head and says, I didn't feel that, it means that they felt it.
They felt it, but do something back. I mean, okay, if it didn't bother you, fine. How about you get yours back? Let your hands go over your nose.
What I'm seeing here, correct me if I'm wrong, Sergio, is a fight that Miller should be winning. He's doing all the right things position-wise in the ring, but he's just not landing enough punches.
Because he's not throwing the jab, so without the jab, you're not going to have confidence to let the right hand go. Without the right hand, you can't let your combinations flow. So there's no fluidity to his offense. He's just, the only thing he's doing right is walking back Andy Ruiz, but that's not enough.
He's getting the ball down in the paint, Chris, but he's not making the hoops.
Right there, guys, hold up.
And let's check in with Emily, who's with NFL star Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson in the house. Game that recognizes more game.
Sure.
Who you got tonight?
Man, I only got the one and only, man. Bud Crawford, man. Come on, Bud. You ready? I'm ready to see a knockout early on, too. Probably like round 4.
Round 4, knockout.
I'm predicting it round 4, man. Bud the dude, man. I'm excited to be here, man. Just been rooting for him for a long time in his career, man. He's doing some great things, so just want to see a good fight. But I got him knocking out early.
Wow, looks like you got a nice left hook. Is this something next for you in your career?
I'm messing around a little bit, but I don't know. I ain't gonna step into that world.
Well, you're good at what you do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Enjoy the fight. Thank you.
Está en tu ritmo, venga. Digo, con los ojos, persigue trabajando el cuerpo.
And this little flurry towards the end, I don't know if it was enough to sway the judges, but both of them had their moments. Andy Ruiz was actually landing really good shots.
Number 5.
Miller needs to start picking it up.
Number 5. Go. Well, he admitted he ran out of gas in his last fight against Daniel Dubois. Maybe he's trying to save some of that energy for the later rounds.
No, he wasn't in shape last time he fought against Dubois. This time he's in shape. He's ready to go. This is it.
Andy, don't use a forearm.
I'll be honest with you, Todd, after his last performance, I didn't think he was going to get an opportunity for another big fight, and here he is. Now, an even bigger fight, he must capitalize.
Nice left on the inside by Miller, cracked the jaw of Ruiz there.
The body shot by Ruiz to answer back. Both these guys loading up on shots.
For what it's worth, Miller does seem fresh.
Well, he's fresh because he's not letting his hands go. And he's not moving his feet like he normally does. Notice the size difference of Miller's upper body to lower body. That's what I used to be impressed with. He has big thighs, but he has skinny calves. That allows him to actually be good on his feet, be light on his feet. And that was giving him an advantage as a heavyweight. But he's not doing that right now.
Now he's in the corner talking to Aureliano Sosa, the trainer for Jarrell Miller. They do think the pressure of Miller is starting to wear Andy Ruiz down, but they're like us guys. They're saying he's got to let his hands go, got to throw some punches, throw them from the outside, and we get on the inside, let that uppercut go.
That's like an elbow.
Watch the heads.
But that 300 pounds of humanity being rested on you all the time, Sergio, will certainly take its toll, and that left hand moved Ruiz back.
Oh, those body shots moved Ruiz back. That's digging down now. That's what I'm talking about if you're a big baby Miller.
And this is a good spell for Miller as Ruiz looking a little slow.
It was the body shots got the attention, left and right. He landed 4 in a row. That opened up the top. This is momentum for Miller. He needs to keep going downstairs. That's going to open up uppercuts and hooks. The straight shots are in the favor of Ruiz right now, but if you're breaking the distance that easy, go around the guard with the hooks if you're Miller.
Best round of the fight for Jarrell Miller. Crowd trying to get behind Andy Ruiz. Miller says no. And maybe Ruiz's punches are losing steam here in the fifth.
It looks like they are losing steam, and it looks like Miller's not respecting the speed nor the power of Ruiz now.
Stop.
And body shots. Ruiz is not liking those body shots.
Andy, look at me. You pulled his head down, that's your fault. Stay right here. Just try to keep him up. Stop pulling the head down. You caused your own foul. Back up. Go.
Excellent hard warning by Thomas Taylor, because that wasn't a low blow, even though Ruiz tried to sell it.
Let the arm go. Let it go.
So are we seeing a pendulum swing in the momentum of this fight? Ruiz lands those quick hands, and Miller sitting down on some punches here at the end of the round. And Ruiz may have been rocked. And coming up, our co-main event of the evening, Mexico versus Mexico, Pitbull Cruz versus Jose Valenzuela.
I love this matchup. Valenzuela is motivated. He's a tall southpaw. He has Robert Garcia in his corner. He had a great camp, but that man right there, Pitbull is a fitting name, always stalking, looking for the big shots. He's maybe shorter and smaller and stockier, but he fights big men, tall men just perfectly.
Yeah, some parallels in this fight. Pitbull Cruz back in March made the jump up to 140 and won a world title in his first professional fight. Jose Valenzuela trying to do the exact same thing, making the jump up to 140 pounds after beating Chris Colbert the last time out to win this belt in his first fight at junior welterweight.
And Isaac Cruz has become an attraction with the fans, especially Mexican fans. You're gonna hear the roar that man gets once he comes out. People love his performance coming up short with Tank Davis, and they've been supporting his career.
Right now, all eyes on Andy Ruiz, who seems to be fading fast as we enter round 6.
And you wonder, Sergio, like, was there a method? Is there a method to the madness of Jarrell Miller? He took some big shots in those first few rounds. I thought lost them cleanly. Now here he is, coming off a win in a round and starting to build on that in the 6th round.
I don't think that's a method, man. That's his style now. You know, he wears people down with his intimidation and size.
Yeah, he's right there in the face of Ruiz, not letting him breathe. Good right hand on the inside. And Miller, like Piccoli, doesn't have to hit you that hard, Sergio. His fists are so massive.
Well, I would say this.
No punch,
Jarrell
no
Miller can punch a big heavyweight, but Martin Piccoli is a KO artist. Like that is it.
I was looking for the words to say exactly that. You can't compare the two. There's a different type of pop. You know, Miller does have power, but it's not Piccoli power.
22 knockouts in Jarrell Miller's 26 wins.
Mark, left eye, blue corner.
See those looping shots, that's going to take it out of Miller. He shouldn't be throwing looping shots like that. You can keep walking your man down, but keep the punches straight and keep digging to the body like he did there. Whenever you see your man getting winded, keep digging downstairs. Ruiz is looking winded. He's breathing with his mouth open now.
Yeah, and a long way to go. We're not even at the halfway point.
Yeah, the body language are backing up, the mouth open. Ruiz is not made for the 12 rounds.
Yeah,
Miller should just keep digging away. Forget the head, dig away at the body.
Yeah, Miller looks fresh. Ruiz looks like damaged goods.
Yes, he does. And that's the thing with inactivity, man. I don't care, like I said, I don't care how long you've been in the gym. Once you get up there and the adrenaline starts rushing, it doesn't matter. Inactivity kills careers.
But Ruiz has banked some rounds here, so it's not like the cause is lost. He still has plenty of time to get back, but this has not been his round.
Listen for the bell, gentlemen.
Clubbing body shots from Jarrell Miller, and then upstairs in an uppercut. That was right after the bell, or maybe even a little after it.
You know, one thing Jarrell Miller is doing here, last few rounds, when he hears that 10-second clap, he's shoe shining, making sure the judges see his production at the very end.
Jesse, un vaselina de este lado, por favor. Mete aire, güey. Mete aire mismo. ¿De qué lado dices? Mete aire, güey. Vamos, venga. La ceja, Jesse. ¿De qué lado?
It's a 7th round, man. You gotta breathe. Take a deep breath.
Ahora un poquito más de agua.
Oh, you gotta get your hands up.
Jesse, a la esquina acá. Venga.
Big Baby Miller stalking like he's been doing the entire time, but now he's letting his hands go. Short right hand right there. Ruiz is not jabbing to the body anymore, so making it easier for Miller to break that distance, and boom! Big right uppercut right there, picked up the chin of Ruiz, and a solid back-to-back rounds for Big Baby Miller.
Let's see how Chris Mannix has this scored through 6 full rounds.
Yeah, I've got it 4 rounds to 2 in favor of Andy Ruiz. I thought the first 4 rounds were pretty easy to score. Ruiz was landing with greater volume, accuracy. We talked all throughout that Miller was just stalking Ruiz, but not throwing punches. But over the last 2 rounds, Jarrell Miller has really turned the tide. He's letting his hands go, especially to the body, which is having a big impact on Andy Ruiz.
And you can see that Miller is not respecting anything coming back for Ruiz now. And I love what he's doing now. He's just throwing short shots. He's not loading up Miller. He's just countering with nice momentum, movement with that right hand.
You see a bit of some swelling underneath and around that left eye of Andy Ruiz.
And that's because of those right hands I was talking about. He's not loading up on him no more, Miller. He's just throwing them to touch him. But when you have 300 pounds behind you, touching is enough.
Here's that little jab on the inside from Miller. Anything that scores. Another one. And there's a clubbing right hand stabbing downward from Jarrell Miller, who, according to Chris Mannix, has won the last 2 rounds after a slow start.
I like that. Miller is not letting Ruiz clinch. You know, clinching saves you some time. You can get some breath. You know, you can walk your opponent back. Anytime Ruiz starts to clinch, Big Baby Miller, you know, doesn't let him. He pushes him or moves his arms.
So what can Ruiz do here, Sergio, other than...
Ruiz better start moving his head.
Watch out. Yeah, he better move that head right now. We're going to have a knockout.
Yeah, he better start moving that upper body. Right now he's getting way too relaxed because he's tired. So he needs to keep the hands up or the upper body movement right now, because Big Baby Miller, he's just getting started.
Ruiz told us that Miller suits my style. I can counter and shoot back, use his aggression against him. And he was doing that early on, but the punches just aren't coming back anymore.
That's fatigue setting in on Ruiz. The fact that he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. It takes its toll in the second half of the fight. And we're seeing it now. You can see Ruiz is tired.
Yeah, anytime Miller rears back and fires, he misses. But it's those little short shots, like you were saying, Sergio, those are the ones that are scoring.
And the snap on the punches of Andy Ruiz are not the same as they were early in the fight.
Right there, gentlemen.
And there's Jose Valenzuela. He gets Pitbull Cruz. And Sergio, you feel Valenzuela's not been getting the respect deserved heading into this fight.
No, he is not. And he's a tall southpaw. He's had a great camp. He has Robert Garcia in his corner. This is one of these fights, the sleeper, man. Not only do I think he's going to give Isaac Cruz a tough fight, but one of these fights where a possible upset could happen here, because Isaac Cruz is there to be hit, but you got to get him respect.
How about Isaac Cruz doing this workout prior to the fight? Isn't that the stuff you do at, like, title boxing?
Well, I mean, that means he's in good shape.
Hey, it's the fundamentals, Chris. There you go.
I get it. I get it. I've done that, but I'm a terrible fighter.
That we can all agree on. As we head to round 8. Can Ruiz find a second win for a second chapter of his career? The former unified heavyweight champion, since that glorious night at Madison Square Garden, has looked less than stellar.
It's going to be an important round for Andy Ruiz to switch the momentum. The last 3 rounds have been really good for Miller, even though Miller started off slow. Now he's not, with 3 rounds in the bank.
CompuBox numbers say that Jarrell Miller has landed 20 more power punches and thrown 52 more, 39% each.
And a lot of that work being done over the last 3 rounds. One thing Sergio Andy Ruiz is doing the first 4 rounds, it was quick 3-4 punch combinations that came off the shoulders. with burst. Now he's kind of loading up on these shots that Jarrell Miller is seeing coming and is able to cover up.
Not only that, but that takes more out of you when you're tired, when you're loading up and not landing. So everything's really heavy and kind of lethargic on Andy Ruiz, and you see Miller just walking him up, looking for that big right hand. I would love to see Miller go back down to the body right now, even if it's just jabs or right hand straight to the gut. When you have a tired and fatigued man in front of you, and he's giving you that body, you should take it. Keep poking him down there, keep pecking.
Power punches, as we just saw, have swung greatly in the favor of Jarrell Miller. That 7th round alone, it was 10-2 in favor of landed power punches for Jarrell Miller.
At the same time, I almost feel like Miller should be doing more. He's got a fighter in front of him who's obviously fatigued, who's lost most of his power. And Miller has him on his back foot constantly.
See, both these guys are reluctant to throw that right hand, the straight right hand, because they know they're both looking for a counter. So the jab is all they're doing, they're neglecting the right hand.
Like this round, Ruiz has thrown so many more punches. Miller's obviously in control, but he could lose the round.
Right. And all with jabs.
There's the shoe shine.
Listen for the bell.
But did Miller wait too late?
Time right there.
Hey, Tiffany from the Hot 97 in the building. Peter Rosenberg, what's going on?
I know some OGs always working, but they never pay.
Let's go to Detroit. Let's go to Detroit.
All that I get, I'm feeling the resemblance. I look into my son's eyes and still see his innocence.
Sentadito, poquito. We got number 9 coming up. How are we doing? Siéntate para trabajar poquito. Ponle poquita vaselina nomás y así.
Sit down, let me see the best swing on your face.
Vamos a ir a hablar 9. Necesitamos cerrar, mi juez. Necesitamos cerrar.
We're going to the 9th round. You gotta close out strong.
Vamos a cerrar.
That was a jab. That was actually a quiet round right there, but Ruiz did enough with shots like that. Little flurry towards the end, try to sway the round in his favor. I don't think that was enough. But Ruiz really needs to pick it up and start strong towards the end.
And it's almost become too predictable, hasn't it, Chris? Where Miller just kind of methodically follows Ruiz around the ring in the last 10 seconds, throws body shots.
I think Jarrell Miller's got now a 3-round window to win some rounds against Andy Ruiz. He dug a pretty big hole early on, and he's dug himself out of it. But you got to believe in the 12th round, Andy Ruiz is going to get that burst of adrenaline and look more like the Andy Ruiz we saw in the first couple of rounds. So these next few rounds are just as important for Jarrell Miller as they are Andy Ruiz.
The way this round's opening up, it feels like this is going to be the round that's going to tell us who has more left, because they're throwing with some heavy shots right now, and it looks like Miller's finally letting his hands go.
There's a right hand on the temple. As Chris Mannix pointed out earlier, that's kind of been his go-to punch. That body shot Ruiz did not like.
Get him up, Andy. Get him up.
There's some quick hands, a little power being shown by Ruiz. Who's at least coming to life a little bit.
No, he's coming to life, but Miller's blocking those shots. It can be discouraging whenever you're throwing shots that hard, that fast, being blocked, and your opponent keeps walking towards you.
Off the head.
For whatever reason, Jarrell Miller's kind of gone back to the guy we saw the first few rounds, where he is continuing to press forward, but not throwing punches as he is.
You look at this fight, it's it's clear that Miller seems to be much fresher, but he's not dominating these rounds. In fact, he might even be losing some of them despite seemingly being on cruise control. There's an uppercut. Oh, and a nice left cross. And this is what you want to see if you're a Jarrell Miller fan.
Just letting your hands go. See, everything's not loading up with power. He's throwing it with speed. He's not letting Andy Ruiz clinch or smother him, stepping back. We need to see more of this from Miller.
Well, here comes the body work.
Bell, gentlemen.
So a good close to the round for Miller, but it was a good start for Ruiz. You're looking live at BMO Stadium. Every ticket has been sold tonight, and only 2 fights remaining after this.
You gotta go there, you have to set the rib shot. All right, you're not doing enough touches to set the rib shot. You understand? You have climbing 1. I want 3 or 4. You gotta pick that shit up, Eddie. All right? You gotta stay close, man. You know they're gonna give it to him. Yeah. So now you gotta pick it up. That's the 10th round. 10th round. So now we pick this shit up now. I want the mean motherfucker to come out. I want.
See those shots right there? He's not loading up. Miller is not loading up on those shots. He's just touching them, but that's doing enough to keep Andy Ruiz thinking defense. Those are short shots.
Thank you.
We need to see more of that.
Right
That's
there.
exactly what they're telling Jarrell Miller in the corner. Keep going. It's an even close fight.
So 9 minutes to go. It's still anyone's fight, but Miller is put himself in the opportunity to really grab this fight by the scruff of its neck and take control, but he just hasn't done it.
And it's there for him, Todd. You know, if he can keep walking Ruiz back, which he's been doing the entire fight, but doing it behind the jab, like you have a game plan to do. Not the fact that Ruiz is walking himself back, but you're pushing him back with the jab, even if it's to the chest or to the shoulders.
Oh, there's good work. That's what you want to see from Miller. 1, 2, 3 downstairs and ends it with a left upstairs.
A big body shot by Big Baby to the body. Ruiz didn't like that shot.
Miller says, come on to Andy Ruiz.
It seems like Ruiz needs to be pushed into a fight and wake up.
Chris Mannix's scorecard as close as you'd like.
86-85 in favor of Andy Ruiz. Thought Ruiz did just enough in that 8th round. That Jarrell seemed to kind of take off. Jarrell squeezed out the 9th. Right now, back and forth action. Very competitive fight. 86-85 right now in favor of Andy Ruiz.
Credit to Ruiz, who looked gassed as early as round 5, but he's hung in there, still letting his hands go.
Work out that, guys.
You know, when fighters are this tired, it's a skill to learn how to fight tired. You know, you don't really load up on shots.
Watch
you don't
those
pull
heads,
back your
gentlemen.
arms. There's little tiny shots where you gotta actually use your hips. Little shots like that. If you could do that and keep getting your opponent hurt and keep him tired, then the big shots will land after.
Good jabs from Miller. Minute to go here in the 10th.
See, loading up on shots like that for Ruiz, that is not as effective as if you do two shots that are actually, you're punching with your shoulders and your hips with better technique instead of speed and trying to put too much power into one.
Well, no one's ever questioned the heart of Andy Ruiz, and he's showing you a lot of it in this fight. 30 seconds to go here in the 10th. Pretty good round for Miller.
The thing about Jarrell Miller is that he could always take a punch.
Yeah, because that was a solid 1, 2, 3 on the back foot for Ruiz. Miller ate those up and came right back.
Listen for the bell.
Much more activity from Jarrell Miller.
If you were born in California, put this one on Instagram.
And our main event just around the corner, and there he is, the WBA champion of the world. Israel Madrimov. Sergio, you were a champ in the junior middleweight division. How much of an advantage does he have being this his natural weight?
Well, it's a big advantage because he's a natural 154-pounder, but here's the advantage that he has. He's being overlooked by everyone but Crawford. He's one of these guys that's really good. He has that amateur pedigree. He has the power. He's a strong fighter. He has good technique, but it's the footwork. It's the footwork in these Uzbek fighters that's really special. If he comes down moving and punching, he's going to be a trouble to that man right there.
Yeah, that man right there, Terrence Crawford, one of the great pound-for-pound fighters of this generation, trying to become a 4-division world champion. And I tell you what, guys, watching him this week, physically, he looks like a junior middleweight. So I think size is not going to be an issue for Terrence Crawford in this fight.
Well, size has been an issue in this fight as Jarrell Miller's 300-plus pound frame has exhausted Andy Ruiz as we enter the championship rounds. Still feels like this fight is up for grabs, though. Ruiz had a hot start, won at least the first 3, maybe first 4 rounds before Miller found his form. What would your advice be to Ruiz if you were his trainer, Sergio?
Not to load up on shots anymore. I mean, this is a big man walking you down. You got to start using your jab, start poking him on the chest, and don't load up anymore. Concentrate on speed, not power if you're Andy Ruiz. See right there, he's loading up on that big shot. Just one shot. Instead, why don't you throw three at 50%.
At least he's throwing, Sergio.
No, at least he's throwing, but it's not the effective. It's not having the effect on Miller like it should if he's throwing 2 or 3. Because you could brace yourself for that one big shot. You see it coming. But the other ones, it might catch you off guard. See those shots right there? They're loading up. You can see those coming.
Miller was stopped in the final round of his last fight, round 10, against Daniel Dubois. This one scheduled for 12. And he looks like he still has plenty of gas in the tank, does Miller. It's not easy to go 12 rounds and be active when you weigh 305 pounds, is it?
I wouldn't know, but yes, it doesn't look that way.
Work on that, guys.
You know, for Jarrell Miller, this is well-conditioned. Right? He hasn't fought at a weight this low since 2018. Andy Ruiz is the 2nd highest weight of his pro career if you exclude the first 2 fights he had. So Jarrell Miller in great condition by Jarrell Miller standards.
And another big fight awaits him if he can get past Ruiz. Good right hand for Ruiz, but Miller's there. It's just not affecting Miller, is it? No matter what Ruiz hits him with.
No, it's not. And it hasn't affected Miller.
Stay off the top of the head.
Miller came to fight. He came to win. Good
There's
shot.
a good right hand. That was the best punch for a while from Ruiz.
Yeah, it was. Miller keeps coming forward. See, right here's where Miller could be jabbing Ruiz, beating him down with the jab. When you have a tired fighter in front of you, that jab right there would do more damage than loading up on a big right hand. Right there.
The excitement continues to build, not only for our main event, but Eminem performing live in just a few minutes. Great venue, by the way, here at BMO Stadium, the home of LAFC from Major League Soccer. Riyadh season hitting the United States for the first time with a bang.
Slapping right hands there by Miller. Both of them tired, obviously, but you still got to turn that punch into your fist. There you go, just like that.
Final round.
You can see both men are fatigued. Both big men are tired.
Gentlemen, let's keep it nice and clean, all right? Go.
And like I said, it's an art to fight tired, and these guys need to close out strong.
3 minutes to go. The fight could hang in the balance. Who knows?
Stop. Strip it. Let's go.
Ruiz has to find a way to dig deep and win the 12th. And Miller, who still looks relatively fresh, does not want to go.
Stop.
Back.
Go.
Oh, the referee Thomas Triver saying stop, no, go, and Ruiz lands a right
Let it go,
hand.
Andy. Let it go. All right, stop. No punch. Straight
But I
back.
was going to say, Miller doesn't want to go back to the locker room after this, thinking I had more to give. Now's the time to let it all hang out. You know that's what Ruiz is going to do.
That's what Ruiz is doing.
Off the head. Let it go, guys. Work out of it.
Reminds me a little bit of that third fight between Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. Holyfield just looked completely gassed and found that second win to drop Bowe.
Well, this is what I was talking about earlier. You always knew in the 12th round Andy Ruiz would find that burst of adrenaline to have a good one. That's why it was so important for Jarrell Miller to rack up some of these rounds in the second half of the fight.
Use it, Andy, or pull it back.
Digging body shots from Miller. Ruiz is going to be in pain for a few weeks after this. "60 seconds to go. Plenty of very lucrative offers for the winner of this fight, but it's doom and gloom for the loser.
Right now it looks like the body language is more Miller. The second win is more on Big Baby Miller, who's still walking back Ruiz, but this time he's punching coming forward. No jab, but punching.
Miller said he ran out of gas in his last fight. He looks like he's got some left in the tank here.
Yes, he does. It's a good 12th round.
Off the head.
10 seconds left. Deep breath for the destroyer as it's Miller who's pounding the body. Good finish for Miller, and that will do it. Did the big baby do enough? Andy Ruiz doesn't seem too happy for what that's worth.
No, he does not, and he shouldn't be because, he ran some early runs. He banked some early runs. He didn't capitalize in the second half of the fight. And it's not just fatigue. It's not just that he wasn't in condition. You got to give credit to Miller. Miller actually fought really well in the second half of the fight, and he closed out stronger.
Thank you, bro.
Well, Miller used his size, was very aggressive, and according to those of you watching on the DAZN app and the Fan Zone, 59% think that Miller's going to get the decision. But again, Ruiz banked so many early rounds. If he just won 2 or 3 of those later rounds, he'll get the decision. It doesn't get more exciting than Virgil Ortiz Jr. Every one of his fights, he has won by knockout, but he takes on Ukraine's Sergey Boachuk next week live, and it could be his very toughest test. Let's see how he does in Las Vegas next Saturday.
Here we see the 3 judges, Robert Hoyle, David Sutherland, solid judges. I got to be honest, Dr. Lou Moret scares the crap out of me. He does. He has had some absolutely outlandish scorecards in recent years, and I have a bad feeling this could be one of them.
Thomas Triber has the numbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Robert Hoyle scores it 116 to 112 in favor of Jarrell Miller. And both judges, Lou Moret and David Sutherland, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 114 to 114, a draw. This bout is a majority draw.
You know, seems about right, majority draw, but I think Miller